Hey guys, it's Renea here from God Squad again in Northern Victoria with this week's Bible reflection. This week it's on John 11, starting at 21, and I'd have to say it's probably a side story, perhaps an overlooked part of the story. This is the story of Lazarus being raised from the dead. He'd been dead 4 days. A little of the backstory is that Jesus had been told that Lazarus was ill, and he waited some time before he went there, saying to his disciples that this will show the glory of God. And so he arrived knowing that Lazarus had passed. Lazarus was a good friend of his. Lazarus is the fella, the shortest verse in the Bible it's quoted that Jesus wept. It was over Lazarus. So he knew him well. But there was a bigger story going on here for Jesus. So anyway, we start at 21, John 11. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again on the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord, she said. She told him, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was come into the world. Well, I think Jesus' perspective of that conversation and Martha's are probably different. Jesus is trying to tell her that he's about to raise Lazarus, but she's not necessarily understood that. She did take some comfort from the fact that he will be raised on the last day and come to heaven, but didn't completely understand what was going on. And when Jesus tried to explain it, she didn't necessarily understand exactly what he was saying, but her response was, I believe you are the Christ. The lesson for us in that little side story potentially is that often Jesus tries to tell us things that we don't understand, are outside of our experience, that we've never seen happen before. And maybe we misunderstand. Maybe we don't see the truth of what he's trying to tell us. The encouragement in this for me is that we just need to accept that Christ is who he is, follow his lead, whether it makes sense to us or not. And in the fulfillment of this story, she did see her brother raised from the dead, and she'd have grown an enormous amount of faith to follow even when she didn't understand. And hopefully that's the place we're in, that as we follow Christ, as we listen to his direction that sometimes doesn't make much sense, that in the fullness of time we will grow stronger in our faith, we'll go stronger in our trust, and follow regardless. The other thing I would say, we need to be careful how we read the scriptures. This is a part of the story that I potentially would overlook because the glamorous part of this story is Lazarus. This is what they mean when people say that the scriptures are alive, that they read things 1,000 times and today something jumps out to me for the first time. There is a lot in here, and we're not expected to get it all the first time round, but we are expected to continue reading, because depending on what's going on for us day to day, there are little gems in there that will make sense today that yesterday we would have missed. So I'd encourage you to keep reading, keep listening, keep giving God the opportunity to grow your faith. Cheers.